maybe I should jump cut this to make it more interesting. I may talk about that in this video. This coming clean video with my subscribers in the Nut and Fancy project on at least 10 stupid things I do and continue to do with my channel, and yet it survives. My own stupidity, my own neglect. Through it all, TNP is still here, still growing. I think you guys will love this video. It is completely honest. I have no agendas here other than entertainment and information. If you have a media source, maybe a YouTube channel, you can learn from my mistakes. Maybe some of my approaches will make sense with your own media outlet, and you'll go, hey, I like the way Nuttin does that, and I'm going to do it too. There's at least 10. There's probably 100. A little background on me. If you're just dialing in this video, you don't know anything about Nut and Fancy, you don't know anything about the Nut and Fancy project. I've been doing this officially for 10 years, in earnest for about 8 years. So I started posting videos seriously in 2008, and it's continued ever since. I never had a grand scheme of wanting to be a YouTuber. I never thought I would ever use that as a vehicle for anything other than goofing around. I posted a mini knife review in Amazon. It got some likes. I had this existing YouTube channel. It was called Nut and Fancy for reasons I'll tell you about later. And see, basic editing, something just fell off the table. And it was really organic how it happened. I came back like a few days later with that one knife video, and it had what I thought was a lot of views, a couple thousand views. And I thought, well, that's kind of cool. People appreciate the information, my approach in doing this. It was a tabletop review where I just show my hands, and I'm talking about the device, the knife in this case, something that had never been done before. And I did that with guns, I did that with clothing, backpacking items, and it was basically founded on the tabletop review. It started here in the Nut and Fancy project, all tabletop reviews. I'd never seen it before, and I just figured that was the best way to convey the information. And I had tried doing in-field reviews, and it just didn't work. It was too windy. People were nearby talking. Things just rolled into the video that lessened the product. So I brought it to tabletop. So it just took off from there. And so I started posting a lot of videos because I have a lot of opinions on gear. I've been in both the tactical industry, the outdoor industry for decades. I was an LLV field tester. I grew up backpacking, I grew up rafting, I grew up motorcycling, I grew up shooting. And so I had all this information and things I wanted to say. And that by telling a story on a gear item, fascinated a lot of people. It fascinated me as a producer of the videos. There is a story that I tell with every gear item, and it is really about that, the story. I think I have kind of a gift for finding that story and telling it in an entertaining fashion, and that is maybe why my YouTube channel continues to survive my approach, which I will tell you about right now. So go back to 2008. I became a partner. I didn't even know what partnership was in YouTube. I didn't know you could make ad money from it. That was never a grand scheme of mine to be famous, to make money. I didn't know anything about that. The whole growth, the inception of the Nut and Fancy project was completely organic. It was not some grand scheme. One of my viewers told me, he's like, dude, you're not a partner, why? And I was like, what's partnership? I had no idea. So I applied to partnership, got to be a partner, and then I was able to post videos at the time longer than 10 minutes. And that's the first stupid thing that in conventional thinking I started doing in the Nut and Fancy project. When I became a partner, YouTube, they probably still do, and there's help sections everywhere. They say, hey, listen, if you want people to watch your video product, if you want to be famous, if you want to get subscribers, don't make a video over 5 minutes. You're an idiot if you make a video over 5 minutes. Well, right out the gate, even before I was a partner, I started violating that advice. I basically blew it off. I was struggling before partnership to get a knife review done within 10 minutes. A lot of times it was rushed. I couldn't roll in competitive options. And I just, it wasn't something I liked. And I go back to what I like watching, whether it's in YouTube or any other video product, and I don't like cursory information that's just flippant. And I tried initially to deliver something that was completely not that. But in doing so, I violated one of the key concepts for success of a YouTube channel. And I actually think I do suffer for it in the grand scheme of things by making what I call feature-length videos. And I will continue to do so when the story is there. I never look at a subject matter. Let's say it's a backpacking video and I go, well, how can I make this longer? I never do that. What I do is I look at the content, I look at the interesting stuff happening. If in post-production it's uninteresting to me, then I start editing heavily. But a lot of times it's fascinating to me, and so I include it, and so you'll have a feature-length video. Feature length to me is about, now, check this out, 50 minutes. So guys and gals in TMP know that when I say feature length, I'm talking, it's a 50-minute video. It's some quality content as best as I can possibly make it. And that is basically 10 times the length that YouTube says. Not just YouTube, everyone says that. Like, hey, you want views, you want subscribers, you want to be famous, make your video short. If you go to the pop culture channels, of which there are tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of them, comedy channels, whatever channels, video game channels, a lot of what they do is very short. They are following the guidelines of YouTube because they do want those view numbers. They want to throw a fishing net in the sea and bring in as many people as they can, as many views as they can, as many subscribers as they can. I don't fault them at all, but that was never my approach. My approach with TMP was I wanted the quality viewer, you. And I would throw content out there that would attract these people, keep these people coming back to the heart and soul of the Nut and Fancy project, and through the years connect with them. My channel isn't really designed for someone, and if you're popping in for the first time, welcome, glad to have you, subscribe. But it's not really designed for flybys. There's such a body of work that's been done that will continue to progress and be fleshed out in TMP. I want my viewers to watch all if possible, but at least most of the videos, because what threads itself through TMP is a philosophy. Life philosophy, there is some political philosophy, there is a preparedness philosophy, there is a goodness philosophy about being good to your fellow man, the adventure of life, of investing your time, spending quality time with family and friends. There's a huge amount of gear philosophy, philosophies of use. I have my own vocabulary, and so I can't in every video regurgitate that for new folks. They have to kind of follow. That is and was something that I don't think YouTube had ever seen before. And now there's a lot of channels like mine. They saw TMP and they're like, oh, I want to make a channel like that. And there's a lot of them now that do that. Not just in my genre, which is a gear adventure channel, but in all types of genres. Again, pop culture, travel channels, entertainment channels, comedy channels. There's all types of niche content you can find in YouTube, some of which is really excellent. But it was a stupid thing in conventional wisdom, and it continues to be that occasionally I will see a comment says, well, your video is too long, I don't have time. That really is not true. And I've never accepted that. The true statement would be, and the true and honest comment by anybody watching the video is like, I don't find this content interesting enough to watch it for 15 minutes. That is a true statement. Because you do have time, you do consume media of all sorts and descriptions. You watch news, you watch movies, you spend a lot of time on video games. You're making media selection choices every day just like I do. And if it rises to an interest level that connects with you, then you will probably stay the entire video. If it doesn't, and that's totally fine, then it just isn't interesting to you. And that's the truth. My subscribers actually nowadays, because they've had 8 years of feature-length content of various sorts and descriptions, not always, but sometimes, they've grown accustomed to it. They're very intelligent. I have all my viewers are smart because they will participate in the systems discussions. They know about it, about the life discussions. They're professionals. they have jobs, on and on and on, and they appreciate it. Sometimes I'll really crank a short video out and I usually hear about it. Because I'll go into the statistics page and I will see viewer abandonment. There's all types of stats you can get from Google and it will show viewer abandonment, and sure enough, right about the 5 to 10 minute point, a lot of people bail out. So I do take that in consideration, and I'm being totally honest, I would like to maybe a feature length video to come back for me and just my own work level to 30 minutes. And that's what I have done and I'm trying to do with gun reviews whenever possible. But I have to sacrifice some other content. Maybe you won't get competitive options. Maybe you won't get as much shooting, as many outings. But honestly, in the last couple years, I'm thinking, why am I killing myself doing that if people aren't watching? So it is stupid though. I gotta move on for time. Speaking of feature length, this video will be feature length. Another stupid, I think, thing I do in TMP, still survives, is I don't collaborate with other YouTubers. I don't collaborate with outside media sources. Early on, I started doing that. And I don't want to go into specifics, but there were things with the associations I established that I just didn't like. Things that were said, drama in certain channels, and it started filtering over to mine. And it reflected on TMP. And this happened probably from the 2008 to 2010 timeframe. Inappropriate things being said, a lot of online hate, a lot of drama, a lot of threats. And early on we decided, and I say we, me and my staff, but I'm the core member, of course, we just said, you know what, we're going to fly solo. We're not going to do a quid pro quo, you subscribe to me, I subscribe to you, you promote me, I promote you. I tried doing that and I just wasn't happy with how it turned out. That honestly hurts me. Now, if you don't believe me, go to any of the large gun channels and look on their channel page and you will never see Nut and Fancy listed on their channel page. You won't. You'll see them supporting each other. There is a network of gun channels, and I'm just talking the gun aspect. You can do it with knife channels, you can do it with outdoor channels. Very, very few, if any, will show me, because, and I don't fault them for it either, because I don't show them on my channel page either, but I've never sought to do that. Could I have done it? Absolutely. That, hey, hey, ring, 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 hey, you put me on your channel page, I'll put you on mine. That way we build our subscribership together. You down? I just never did that. I prefer to be completely independent, and I will take the hit and have taken the hit in the number of subscribers and the number of views. Never did it. So I don't collaborate. And there's another reason I don't do it, is because it's time consuming. Because then, I don't have time. This is not my primary job. I just fit it in every nook and cranny I can through my professional existence. The Nut and Fancy project. Truly, I do. So I'm a part-time YouTuber. It may seem insane to people. They go, well, this looks like a full-time channel. I know, it's because I work my butt off doing it. I mean, I really work hard doing this. But another reason is I just don't have time, because if you're in collaboration with a lot of people, there's coordination. There's phone calls, there's emails that you have to talk about. Maybe you have an event coming up together, and so you have to coordinate to that. You have to free up your schedule. You have to match schedules, and it's just a lot of work, and it's exhausting to me. That's the other reason. And I don't mean this to say, hey, that channel over there I don't like. I think they're great. There's so many great YouTube channels right now, and not just my genre, everywhere, just like I said. Amazing content. And I wish them all the best, but at the same time, I think it's best that I do what I've done, and that is to fly solo. Along with the no collaboration, things that have hurt me is I don't go off-site and promote myself, and I never have. By that, I mean, you'll never see me in any forum whatsoever saying, hey guys, I just posted a new video, go check it out. That I, weasel myself into some type of discussion to promote myself. Never done that. No one from the Nut and Fancy project has ever done that. I just think it's artificial. It's not me. And again, the time thing is there. I wouldn't have time to do it even if I wanted to do it. But if you really want to build your subscribership, you want to make a name for yourself, it's probably a good idea to be participating in forums that relate to your topic. Now, along with that, you're going to have to deal with a lot of drama, a lot of hate, a lot of discord, a lot of personal attacks. That is inevitable anytime you're in something like YouTube. I mean, you guys know comment section. I mean, people basically, without a filter, say whatever they're thinking. In person, they would never say those things, but online, you know, sky's the limit. I don't collaborate. I don't do forums. Had I done that from the outset, I think the channel would be a lot bigger, and that's that. But, you know, think about it. Number 3. This one's awesome. Stupid things I do in TMP, and yet my channel still grows, still survives. My editing is pretty simple in the Nut and Fancy project. That's not to say that I haven't done some, I would say, highly edited video pieces in the past. It depends on if the creative mood strikes me. I would never do it like saying, oh, you know, I hope people watch this more because it's really fancy. I got fancy music. I got a cool intro. It has a super cool feel. I don't do it for that. I do it for me. And I do it for you guys that think like me. That when you're sitting in the camera, or not in the camera, but on the screen, and you're watching and feeling what I hope to be sometimes a spiritual experience, and I don't mean that in like a foo-foo way, but something that connects to you, that you can relate to, then I'm rewarded. You know, and so I did that with Into the Air backpacking series. If you go watch those, I'm sorry, Where the Air is Thin, and then Summer Snow was like that. And what I found out through years of doing this, highly edited versus very simple edits, there's absolutely no difference in the amount of views you would get. None. Now, if you don't believe me, you can go to any number of manufacturer channels where they actually have a professional film crew filming, like SHOT Show. They'd have, you know, on floor. I was at SHOT Show before, and I'd look over there and I'd see like 5 people. There'd be like an interviewer, 2 cameramen, lighting people, and even people to sanitize the booth when they're doing the review. And I was like, holy cow, that's a big operation. And then I would bounce into their channel, see how many views they got, and it was like, I won't say a number, but it was pretty low. And I'm just thinking, how do they support it? I mean, because I know ad revenue sucks usually, and are people getting money? Are they doing it for free? It baffled me. And what I found through the basic editing that I do, and it's something I've always known, but it really has been driven home with my own YouTubing here, is that it's really not about the special effects. It's not about the editing. It's not about some stupid intro that someone, your poor viewer, has to watch every single time. I hate those, by the way. Same intro. I always drag a slider on there when I'm watching out of genre videos. Dang. It's really about the story. So I can do a knife review on the tabletop, and I don't put any inset video. I don't put any music in it. And people will be riveted if I can nail the review. Because again, going back to that story, I'm looking for the story, and when it starts to flow, I call it catching the wave. It's like you're surfing out there and you're paddling, you see the wave coming, you're looking over, okay, yeah. You paddle, and then that momentum carries you, and I can feel that in the review, and it's like, I know it's a dumb example, I'm known for those. I'm like surfing the wave, and once that happens, it's magical. And TMPers will know exactly what I'm talking about. I don't know what it is. I mean, I've been in post, and I don't mean to say this in any braggadocious way. I'm trying to explain to you a concept that if I go into post-production and I'm watching, for instance, a knife review, and I start watching it, and I just become pulled in and listening to what's being said, and it's me, then I know, double thumbs up. I got it. That's what I wanted. Sometimes I go into post-production, I go, this is not good. I was off. I wasn't on the wave. I said things that were stupid. I was disorganized. And then I don't post it. And then maybe I review it again. Maybe I don't. And there's a lot of things that I reviewed and it never saw the light of day. Hey, Nut, you need to post those. No, nobody will watch them. They think they're stupid too. Basic editing is all you need. You do need a good storyline. No matter what your focus is on your YouTube channel, I think the more, and there's a lot of different ways you can do it. You can just be silly, you can be comedic, or you can be real. There is an audience waiting for you, and they will connect to you. The more honest that you are in the camera, I think the more your viewers will come to trust you. They'll know you and they'll support you. Even if you do something stupid, even if you say something they don't agree with, they know you, and just like your friends and family, they go, he's friends or family. So they just keep riding with you. And I have tens of thousands, if not more, subscribers who fall into that category as we've gone through this sojourn over the years. Basic editing. And honestly, what I'm using now is freaking iMovie. How crazy is that? For a YouTube channel my size, I'm using iMovie? That's stupid. Why wouldn't you use Final Cut Pro or something like that? Time is another reason. I have looked into some of those things, the different layering for me to get the effect that I want. I would like to transition to that eventually, just for my own creativity and like of the post-production product, but it's not necessary. Again, it's really not about the edit. I do like showing proof of concept footage while I'm talking these days. It's been like that for a long time. So if I'm talking about the accuracy of a gun, you would see an inset and you see the very thing I'm talking about synced up. That being said, even though I do basic editing for, let's say, a 50-minute feature-length video, dude, I am at the reviewing or the editing table for 6 hours. That's with iMovie. 6 hours, because sometimes that footage spreads across 5 different hard drives. So I have to search for the footage, I have to inset it. Maybe there's titling, all that stuff. So it's still a lot of work. It would be a lot more if I had a more advanced video editing product, but it's not necessary. You won't get any more views. So if you're in a YouTube channel right now, if you think, oh man, if I do this, if I do some really cool side slides, cool music, I get like 4K video, doesn't matter. People don't care. They don't. Some of the biggest viral videos in YouTube are filmed with iPhones. People don't click on that and go, oh, it's filmed with an iPhone, I'm not watching this. They'll get irritated if the video quality's bad. I do. But as long as it's like 720p or higher, you're not going to hear any complaints. Very few. Depending on what the video is, I try to upload to 1080 now. But that's a lot of storage. Again, buying more hard drives and doing that. Stupid though. I shouldn't do that. I should be, for a channel my size, I should be doing a lot more edits or complex edits. And people go, well, why don't you pay someone to edit your videos? It's stupid that you still do it. Make the video and then have them do it. I haven't done that because you lose control there, and then you have what I think is a committee product. And you'll see that on a lot of channels in my genre, that it's a committee product, that person had a hand in it, that person had a hand in it. And my vibe as a viewer is that's not as pure, and it doesn't have that solid philosophical direction. Ooh, that's heavy, nothing. Doesn't. Cost me a lot more work and a lot more time, but that's just the way I do it. Number 4 thing I do, stupid, and my channel still survives, is I do very poor homepage management in YouTube. Just recent, I'm talking about when you type in nutnfancy in YouTube and you come to the first page. If you're a subscriber, you see one thing. If you're not a subscriber, you see something else. But sometimes I'll go weeks and I haven't changed anything. For like years, I didn't even have playlists that showed my most popular content for a certain year. Just stupid stuff. I mean, it's just, here I had at the time, 1,700 videos out, and it was making it difficult for non-subscribers to find my content. What I always thought was people would come to my landing place in YouTube and they would see the search line and they'd say, well, I wonder if nutnfancy's reviewed this. Maybe it is, I don't know, a Glock 26. So on the upper right, they would type nutnfancy or just Glock 26 in my search line in the YouTube search page. I don't think a lot of people do that. I think what they do is they land on the page and they just look at those videos that are listing. If they're savvy YouTubers, they'll click on the videos link at the top and then they see a chronological listing of the videos that have been posting. That's what I always do to someone's channel. I don't land on the homepage. I go to their videos and see their feed, and then I can pick and choose what I want to watch. I thought guys were doing that. They're not, but it was bad on me because I didn't make it easy. I just organized some playlists like 6 months ago. I've been doing this, full on for 8 years. What? It's stupid. I mean, and there's a lot of other stupid things I do. I mean, like hot links, like Twitter hot links, website hot links. I still don't know how to do a lot of that stuff. I really don't. There's a lot of stuff in YouTube I look at, I don't know. I want to do an interactive video with you guys and do This is going to be so embarrassing. And dude, like, you guys call in and we talk. I know there's a way to do it, but I got to research it. I don't know how to do it. It's embarrassing for me to tell you this, but I know there's a way to do it, and I will do it. I promise. Oh my gosh, there's 1,000 comments right there. What? We want to see that. I know. That's just the tip of the iceberg. There's other things in YouTube that they are changing and tweaking, and I kind of hate the way they do it. The features I really want YouTube to have, they don't. But then they're always changing stuff, and I'll go and log in, and about 5 years ago we had a huge change, and I hated it. We all complained, and here we are stuck with it, and we just learned to work with it. For instance, I used to be able to put background images on my homepage channel in YouTube, and I love doing that because I would communicate to you guys by doing it. I would post up a picture of this backpacking. I would post up a picture of a snowshoeing, and you'd know what's going on. I did have to be careful about doing that because I'd post up a picture of a gun, for instance, and I was very naive when I did it. And then a lot of the channels who, they kind of do what I do. They'd say, oh, that gun, he's getting ready to review it. And they would go and review it and beat me to the punch. And then that gun review would come out. And then mine would come out very slowly, by the way, like 4 months later or a month later. And now it's a little bit less special because everyone's been talking about it. And people are just like, yeah, we've already seen that. So I had to be careful how I manage that. But I do miss having that. I do some of that in Twitter. If you're not subbed to my Twitter feed, do it, because I talk to you guys a lot via imagery of what's going on, current adventures, current projects on nutnfancy.com, or I'm sorry, twitter.com, nutnfancy. Number 5 thing that I do that's super stupid that would help me grow my channel and give me a backup plan is I don't upload my videos to a secondary source. And I have been approached by a couple other websites, and they wanted me to bring my content over to them so they could grow their channel and bring my viewers over to them. And I did look at it very closely about a year ago, 2 years ago, and I was thinking about it, and I even forget the name of it. And I just, I played around with their interface, and it was totally inferior to YouTube. One of the benefits of YouTube is they do give you a very easy way to manage your videos. You have Video Manager, you can annotate, you can change colors, font sizes. You have a very easy way to monetize and to change monetization however you see fit. And while these other sites promise the same functionality, and maybe they do get it one day, it again created more work for me because it's all we can do to manage what we have going in YouTube. Along those same lines, stupid things I do or don't do is I have no Facebook feed for the Nut and Fancy project. I don't. And people are like, you don't do Facebook? I'm like, no. I mean, I can't do it. I don't have bandwidth. Not in the term of, digital bandwidth, but personal bandwidth. I don't. It's all we can do to keep up with YouTube. I do Twitter and I do YouTube. Twitter's awesome because it's low maintenance. I can shoot off notifications to you guys very quickly. Don't do Instagram, and I don't do I was going to say FaceTube. I call it that. Facebook. Maybe I was going to open it up last year because someone was like, oh, I'll manage it for you. And I'll give you a little insight to this too. Because you may be saying, well, why don't you find someone to manage it for you? Here's why. Because I've learned to be very, very careful who I trust in the Nut and Fancy project. I have been burned multiple times by people who have and had ulterior motives for self-promotion. That's why. That they're not really on board with what's going on in TMP, but they see a way to make money, they see a way to become famous, and they're going to take the money and run. And Facebook would be a perfect example of that. So this one dude's like, well, I want to manage Facebook for you. And I just had an inkling that he's full of crap. Sure enough, he was. I was getting ready to go public with it, and I didn't hear from him for like 4 months. I'm like, I'm so glad I didn't turn on Facebook, because then it would have been embarrassing to me, because an unmanaged product is unprofessional, and I won't do that. I'm just covering the tip of the iceberg of that. Tip of the iceberg. So hold the cards close, control the product, and it will stay high quality and it'll be durable. Says me. I don't do off-site video hosting. I should. Maybe that changes in the future. Maybe YouTube says, no more content. I've talked about that in the past. Who knows? Number 6 thing that I do. That's stupid. It's funny. I get invitations to video conferences from Google YouTube all the time. They go, hey, come to this, what do they call it? Creative meeting. We'll teach you how to manage your channel, grow your subs, and make more money with your ads. And I've never gone to one of those. I've never gone to a meetup with gun channels before, ever. Now, sometimes, there are a couple that I really wanted to go to and I just couldn't fit it in the schedule. And that goes back to the second thing, no collaboration. That's dumb. I should do it, but I don't. But I've never done it, and it's dumb. I think if you want to grow and you're all about subscriptions, which I'm not, you're all about views, which I wouldn't say I'm not, but it's a good barometer for viewer interest in certain topics, so I do watch that closely, then you should do it. Go to the conferences, learn all you can, go and rub shoulders with other huge YouTubers, and I'm talking their audiences. I'm a tiny one. I mean, big YouTubers, I'm talking subscription-wise, dude, they've got, 20 million subs. 20. And they're growing like crazy. Those are usually the pop culture ones, where there is, again, a large fishing net, and there's a lot of viewer interest in broad topics. So they're not niche topics, which I kind of concentrate on here. I should. Number 7 thing I do, stupid, but I still survive, still grow, is I have said no to television several times. In the big scheme of things, that was probably dumb in the way that I would have grown much more from that had I gone and shot with Top Shot, had I been on several Discovery Channel shows with Gurney Productions, if I remember the name right. But they contacted me and said, hey, we'd like you to participate in the show. And I was polite, and I said, thank you, but no thank you. That is kind of crazy for most YouTubers to comprehend, because most YouTubers, I think, get into this with the plans of becoming famous. They love it. They eat it up. They can't wait till they're recognized on the street. They would love to parlay their YouTube experience into a recording contract if you're a musician, into a television show if you're a comedian, into a travel show if you're a travel channel. And that has happened. All of those things have happened. And they just love the opportunity. I've been on this earth a long time, and I know kind of how things work, and I know television enough to know that it does this. It goes whoop, and then it crashes. Not a durable product. For instance, where's the show Top Shot now? Crickets. The thing about new media, which I've always called YouTube, is new media is durable. For instance, if I do a review on a backpack, 2 years after I do it, someone can be in Google, they can type in, Kelty Super Tioga backpack review, and up comes a 2008 nutnfancy review. That's 8 years ago. Still useful, still good information. It blows away television. Television comes and goes, and people forget about it. It's not searchable unless some external site uploads it. My product is on a mainframe somewhere, and it is always searchable. New media dominates. It's better than radio. It's much better than print media, newspaper, or even magazines. Magazines are forgotten. Hey man, I wrote an article for such and such magazine. One dude told me that. I was like, great, that's awesome. Yeah man, it's going to be great. 2 months later, no one remembers the article. No one's talking about it. Print media just vanishes into the wind. New media being, I'm going to say the core is YouTube, has a presence, and it is foundational to the way people consume information now. They type it in, they search it, can they come up and find it? Now, the video product has some downsides. It does require that the viewer will sit down and watch a video, just like you're doing. They can, if they're smart, consume it in small bits. I do that with longer videos. Hey, I don't have time. Well, knock out 15 minutes here. I'll knock out 15 minutes there later. I'll go through the whole thing. We all have time. It's a matter of how we choose to use our time. But sometimes people don't want to consume a video product. They'd much rather go into a blog or a website and read it in very short and concise, maybe 1-2 pages, boom. We are a very short attention span society. We like things quickly and summarized. I get it. But there's also a market for more detailed, entertaining, and fun information, and that's kind of where I've made my claim in the YouTube world. Not to say I don't do short videos, I do, and I'm doing more and more. It just depends what the story is. So would I change anything about saying no to television and the offers I had? No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't. Unlike, like I said, a lot of people are seeking fame. I actually don't like it. I'll be walking along, and I'm never walking along going, oh man, I'm a YouTuber. I have a big audience. I never do that, ever. I'm walking along, and it's like I'm living my own life, and people come up and say, hey, dude, and it takes me by surprise. It happened like 3 times a day. I'm not making this up. Ask my wife. She'll walk up, and she goes, yeah, it's like he doesn't remember he does YouTube. And then it's kind of weird. I'm like, did you recognize me from a previous thing, like my military service, or are you a viewer? And I kind of feel weird because I don't know how they know me. And then I find out they're a TMPer, my audience member, and the light goes on. I'm like, okay, they've made my identity. Not that I'm walking around with a cloak over my head. I'm not. You know, sometimes, like right now, I don't even know what this hat is, by the way. I don't even know what the logo is. That's probably stupid, too. I have no idea. It's just Doodle's hat. I just grabbed it. But sometimes I do have a TMP hat on. It just depends. I would still say no to television. And then another side to that I haven't really told you yet is my real job. I would have to leave that real job and go to a very temporary television gig. Don't want to do that. And then I did have my attorneys look at the contracts when they were sent to me by Discovery, or actually the production company of Discovery. And I can't remember. It might have been Top Shot too. And there was a clause in there that said, hey, while you're participating in our show, we will run your social media site. You are not allowed to post on it. You're not allowed to talk on it. And I just said, that in and of itself was a deal killer. No way. I'm not turning TMP over to anybody. I'm not shutting it down. I think that's rude to do to my subscribers. For why? Because I want to be more famous? Screw it. Eighth thing I do that's stupid. I don't avoid controversy. Now, guys and gals who've been watching my project know this to be true. That if I myself find a stand, whatever it is, a political stand to promote, I'll make a video. You will not see that from too many large YouTubers. I wouldn't say that's a blatant statement, because there are some channels, large channels, that make their living off doing that, of being insightful, controversial, and stirring the pot, and they take all the flack. But that's their gist. I'm basically a gear adventure channel. That's my genre that I created, and I stay in that genre a lot, but sometimes I'll veer off and I'll go a political philosophy video, and it ruffles feathers. You know, even some of my friends that have been with me for years, they've said, hey, we don't like it when you do this, but I still do it. It's stupid. Why would I do it? Because let's say I post a video and it's inflammatory to some people. To me, it's great, and I feel like I'm true to my integrity, but I say it, and for whatever reason, let's say 100 people take offense to it and they unsubscribe. Totally has happened, by the way. Totally. Hey, this is it. I'm out. You know, I hate your guts. See you later. You suck. This video's the last straw, Nutton. I still post a video. I do not protect my subscribership in YouTube. And I'm talking about my numbers. And that's stupid in the big scheme of things. Most of the large channels in my genre are very careful what they say, because they don't want to lose subscribers. They don't want to lose video or viewers. And I don't fault them for that. That's the way they run their channel, but I've never been that way. I will go political. I'll get controversial if I feel it serves the greater good. Now, I will tell you this. I am leaning, and not for the reasons you think, but I am leaning more away from doing that, because I think that the videos I've posted in the past haven't really affected change. And so here I offended what were great friends of mine in the project. They left. And in the big scheme of things, I didn't affect any change. You know, so my candidate or whatever didn't progress. And why? You know, I'm a little tiny sliver of the internet. And so nowadays I'm asking myself the question, why? I know what a lot of guys and gals are saying right now. Oh, dude, you got to keep doing it. Those are our favorite videos. Well, to you, but there's probably, 10% that they're not favorite at all. but I will continue to reserve the right and the option to go very controversial, non-politically correct, if and when I see the need. And that is stupid if you want to preserve the numbers of subscribers, the number of viewers, and all that in the big scheme of things. Now, that being said, you can come out with a very controversial video and it will get huge numbers, but I never do that. I don't go, oh, I'm going to post a controversial video just so I can get big views. I don't do that. Unless it is part of what I perceive to be my personal integrity, doing what I need to do, I'm not doing it. But if you're in YouTube, I would admonish you not to be afraid of being controversial. I'll go back to what I said, and that is being real with your audience. They can perceive if you are being fake. They're a lot more perceptive than you think, especially if you've been a certain way, but, and then all of a sudden you just break out, and then you're like, whoa, where did this come from? There might be a side to yourself you haven't showed them to that point. I have done that, but generally you'll be amazed at how well they know you. And I have never hidden my personality, my sense of humor, and who I am to my audience, and I think it's served as well. But some people would say that's dumb. Don't be controversial. Be cool, be friendly, be totally accepting, and then you don't have to worry about stuff. Number 9 thing that I do that's really dumb is I never script. Never script. I never write down exactly what I want to say, whether it's a philosophy video, whether it's this video. You want to see my notes? Dude, look. Is that scripted? No, it's nothing. It's just is what it is, you know. It's just talking points. I find I do my best work extemporaneously. I get on the wave, I can start talking. Whether I do a political speech at a rally, if I get in the mood, I can rock. I can speak with authority, I can speak with conviction, and I can tell a story. I don't need to write out what I'm going to say. But sometimes that leads to awkward moments. Maybe I say the wrong thing. Maybe I'm not super clear on what I intended to say. That comes with the territory. A lot of channels will script it. They may not tell you about it. You won't know. But if you see a lot of jump cuts, which I never do. That's so funny. I'm watching video and there's always jump cut. I'm like, why are they doing that? Jump cut. Is that like the thing? If what you're saying isn't interesting enough, you got to jump cut it? I never do that. I don't know, but a lot of them are scripted. I don't do it. Is it stupid? Probably, because maybe a non-scripted video would be 48 minutes. If I scripted it, really, scrubbed it with all unnecessary content and sidetracks, maybe it's 40 minutes. So it could make it shorter. But again, that goes back to work too. For me to script it, and then what am I doing? Typing it out. Oh, got to spell correct it, and then doing it. Screw it. I'm not doing that. Can't do it. Number 10 thing, you probably saw it on the list. Aloof. I'm aloof with YouTube. I really am, and ultimately it's pretty stupid. I have no idea what people in my category are doing. Now, people who work for TMP, and I'm talking like Tactical Doodle, my son, they do. Has his ear to the ground. He has a general idea what's going on. Not me. There'll be names of YouTubers. Hey, man, you know this guy? I'm like, never heard of him. What? How can you not hear of him, man? He's super popular. I'm like, sorry, I don't watch in my genre. I don't watch gun reviews, don't watch knife reviews. I don't watch nothing. I'm always well outside my genre. I don't have the interest. It burns me out. It burns me out. It's too much. I can't work my butt off doing a gun review and then sit down and watch someone else's gun review. It's like you work at 7-Eleven as a night manager, and then your night off, you go, hey, I'm going to go hang out at 7-Eleven with my buddy there. I'm not doing that. No way. It burns my creativity. It burns my motivation. It burns my drive, and I would have quit this channel a long time ago if I did it. No, I don't do it. I'm aloof, man. I don't know what's going on. I told you that about the features of YouTube. I just don't know. It's so funny. I laugh at myself about it. Like, dude, man, people think you have this big YouTube channel. Again, it's not that big. It's tiny. And, man, you don't know this. And also, like, gear items. Hey, man, you don't know that came out? I'm like, no. No. Why? Because I'm busy, body surfing out in California when I'm not working on the channel. I'm backpacking. I'm motorcycling, 100 miles in the desert. I'm living. And occasionally, whenever I can, I'll bring along the camera and I'll weave that adventure into the fabric of the Nut and Fancy project. And that takes time, takes energy, takes days. If I sat and just watched video after video, TMP wouldn't exist. What you're seeing is an online representation of a true adventure channel. There's gear. I'm going to show you how to use it. I'm going to talk about systems, and it takes a lot of time and energy to do it. Right now, I'm working on 3 gun reviews. I have to do probably 4 more outings between those guns. So I have insert video for the tabletop footage. To me, it makes it more interesting, more entertaining to my audience. But that is basically 2, maybe 3 days of work of driving way out in the desert, setting targets up, and doing that stuff. I'm aloof, man. I don't know what's going on. Stupid, right? Hey, man, you should know this person. You should know that person. You should know what's going on. I know. If I was smart how I did this channel, I would. If I was a full-time YouTuber, would I? That's a really good question. I'm going to give you an honest answer, and the honest answer is no. I still wouldn't do it. It's just too much for me. I don't love it enough. I don't define myself by my YouTubership. I like that word, by the way. I just made it up. I just don't. It's not who I am. And in the big grand scheme of things, and I want to wrap it up now. I told you around 50 minutes. These things are stupid. I mean, if you want to maximize subscribers, maximize views, maximize revenue, maximize your fame level with interacting with television, getting contracts, then a lot of what I've told you is probably not a wise approach. But check this out. It is what makes, and I say this in all humility, it is what makes TMP TMP. And there are a lot of people that get it. You watching this video, I bet, gets it, because otherwise you wouldn't spend your time, your valuable time, watching this video. And you can feel my sincerity through the camera. People don't care that I'm not using fancy edits. They don't care that I'm controversial, most of them. They don't care I'm unscripted. That gives charm to the Nut and Fancy project. It gives realness to the Nut and Fancy project, and they love it. Remember what I said. I'm not casting a broad scene, a big fishing net through the ocean trying to catch pop culture stuff. I can make a pop culture channel easy. Millions of subscribers. I could do a comedy channel totally. I'll do it, Nut and Fancy. Maybe later, not now. They're a dime a dozen. I mean, they're everywhere. That's just, at this point in my life, not what I want. That's not where I'm at. I like what I'm doing. I enjoy it mostly. There are times I'm completely unmotivated to keep doing it, to be honest with you. And I wish I could shut it off. And, I just go in a quiet place and I lick my wounds. And I quit being a baby and I get to it again. There's honesty. So, long videos, no collaboration, simple editing. Poor homepage management. That is hilarious. No off-site video hosting. Said no to TV. Controversy. Non-scripted. Blah, blah, blah. Are they stupid? Perhaps. But I think a lot of people really love that I do it that way. And if you have a media source, maybe it will work for you too. Thanks for sticking around. Officially 10 years of doing TMP. Thanks for watching the video. See ya. Best of luck with social media. Bye now.